Hi, how are you all doing? My name is Mark North, and I am going to be your instructor for this class, MAN 4633. This is a really good class. I've taught it before, and I really enjoy it. And I think that for many of you, particularly those of you that are in international business, or really anybody at one point or another in your life, you may well work with, for, or as a client, a multinational corporation. So I think it's very useful for us, especially as the world becomes more and more globalized, to be aware of and study the things that make up the mindset and the mentality and the strategic thinking of a multinational company. So that's what this course is all about, and I think it's very valuable. And I think it's one of these things that what I'm going to try to do. You know, I've worked for a lot of multinational companies in my career, and you have a really good book. The book, this one here, is a very good book. But sometimes it can tend to go off into academia, which is normal. So what I'm going to try to do is make sure that we have applicable, real life, realistic, and usable things that you can take away from what we're studying, and also, you know, from my experience and from maybe your experience, and see what we can do to make sure this comes alive to you as well. As it's a good academic book, it's very good. I like it a lot. However, we will do our best to make to really highlight the things that are real. Let me just say before I go on to that, since this is a fully online course, it's a little bit different from when you're face to face and can have a chance to emphasize what's really important and what's not. What I'm going to do with y'all is I'll make sure that I give a video lecture for each of our topics, our chapters. There'll also be a very comprehensive PowerPoint slideshow presentation you can look at, but I'll always make sure that you know what I think is important for you to know, and therefore what might be on the test. I'm never going to trick you on tests. I'm never going to find obscure things to test on. It will be clear, and also be a test review priorities test to make sure that you understand exactly what we're looking for, and what I think is really important for you to know and to carry with you as you go on in your academic and professional careers. Okay, so as we go along, look, the objective, the key part of this course, as you can see in your syllabus, is that we want to really provide a solid understanding of the primary issues that companies face when they're looking at strategic decisions. What they do, what they think of, the things that influence, impact the way they think and their movements they make. Sometimes they make incorrect choices, and we'll look at those. Sometimes they're very astute, and we'll look at those as well. But I think that's really the key thing, is what are the components of strategy? What is the thinking behind what multinational companies do? We'll look at a lot of traditional ways that companies look at, but of course things are changing quite rapidly in a digital age, and so we'll try to, which is not as easy, to look at what's happening now and what may be happening in the future as we go through the course and through the book. You'll see in the course objectives in the syllabus that by the end you'll be able to do all those things it says. You'll be able to describe globalization, explain the concept developed in emerging countries. We want to make sure that you have empathy for the different societies that you may be working in and the different things that people do in different countries. People think, act, and work differently. Even though there's a commonality in a lot of things, there are also, it's very helpful to be aware of and respectful of different ways that people approach their lives, their cultures, and their business. I'm going to show you how to look at the fundamentals of strategy, and also I'm going to do a little side thing on effective writing, and something on the side on personal ethics, things like that I think are important for you to know, even though they may not be in a book. They probably won't be tested on them, but I just want you to make sure you have that in your bag of tricks as you go forward. You'll be able to describe the primary ways that companies enter markets, what they think about, how they go into, when they look at a new country or a new market, what are the modalities, what different ways could they go in, and what shapes their thinking on that. You'll follow those 6 major things that FIU wants you to know, which is develop communication skills. We'll have online discussions for that. I'm always available for email, telephone calls, etc. The IT use, this is an online course. It helps to be good at it. Make sure you test your PCs, your laptops, and your access. Become familiar with Canvas. I don't know how many of you took the summer courses, but Canvas has replaced whatever you guys used before, Blackboard, and it's really good. But make sure you're familiar with it and you can use it. We'll understand globalization. Fortunately, this course attacks globalization head on, so you'll know about that. Critical thinking, you'll see you'll see a lot of things that you can repeat, but what I would really prefer you see things that you can apply and comment on your own. Think about what you're reading. Do some application of what you're doing, your own thoughts, your own experience. You'll see that you'll have a test, for example, and I might say, that's the wrong answer. However, your logic, the way you presented it, your thinking was correct, so I'll give you the credit for it. I want you to think, use your head, use your logic. That's what it's all about. And you'll see that we will use some analytical tools to make sure that becomes real for you. And then ethical reasoning, like I said, I'll give a little talk on, a little presentation on personal ethics and business ethics, which I think is highly useful. I do that in all the classes, and it's, again, we won't be tested on that, but I just think it's something for you, good for you to know. It's an online course, so a lot of the emphasis is placed on the reading. You'll see there are a lot of quizzes. The quizzes are very easy if you do the reading. They're pretty easy if you don't do the reading. But the point is, do the reading, and then you can easily do the quiz. It takes, I give 30 minutes, but it usually takes like 3 or 2. It's very simple. I just want to make sure you do the reading. It doesn't help not to do it. I think the chapters are fun to read. It's applicable. It's relevant. So I don't think there's an issue there, but make sure you do that. Then we'll have some online discussions. We'll do lectures. I'll do video lectures that you can look at. I'll post the links. We'll have some mini case studies. The mini case studies are in the book. They're mini. They're short. They're usually 1 page or 2 pages to read, and I'll provide a format for how you do them and how they're graded. And it's basically very simple. I just want you to state what the problem is. State what you would do to resolve that problem. Support what you would do, like why would you do that, and then that's it. And really, I want to see it simple, something direct, but the problem, the solution, and why you chose that solution is all we'll do for those case studies. But I think even that, they're short, they're relevant, and they'll get you thinking about what companies do and why they do what they do. We'll have some topical discussions that we'll do online, and that'll help everybody throw in some input. And then I get some like learning activities that aren't directly related to what we're looking at, but I think they're good for you for business, for people that intend to go on in their work lives, and just things that I think can be of help. Let me see, what else we're going to do here. Again, since it's an online course, you'll have all your work really will be online. It sometimes can be harder to have the discipline to be effective at an online course, harder than it is when it meets regularly during the week. That's something you're going to have to deal with in all your lives, because we're getting more and more online all the time. But the thing is, you do have to show some discipline. Plan your work. I'm sure this isn't your only class this fall term, so plan out your work. Don't wait for the end, and make sure you just stay with it. You have to know how to do the quiz. You have to look and make sure you do things on time. Look at your announcements. Look at your website, the Canvas, and make sure you're on top of it. It's just it requires a little more from you. It's not going to be. It's fairly spoon-fed, but you do have to enter in there and make sure you're aware. When you make up assignment, I like to see excused absences for anything that's graded that you don't turn in on time. The main thing is tell me ahead of time. Work with me. You'll find I'm very amenable to making sure you get a chance to do the work and show what you know. Obviously, having your various illness, personal issues, people that you go to, all those different excuses. You've heard them all. We've all know them. I refrain from those. Let's just not talk about that. Let's just do the work. And if you don't, tell me you didn't, tell me why, and let's reschedule and do what we can. But let's just not go into all those excuses if you don't mind. They don't work in business. There is no excuse in business, so you might as well start now. Again, these are online. Sometimes the communication can be constrained. However, I have noticed that as long as people remain in contact with email, on Canvas, you can call me. People call. It works out pretty well. It's better than I thought. So let's be sure to stay in communication anytime you need to. I just want you to learn. I want you to take something away from this that's positive. So I'll be as available as I possibly can for that. Do communicate, and stay in touch, and don't let anything drag on or not be addressed that needs to be addressed. For the graded assignments, we're going to have a few things. I'll tell you. They're in the syllabus, but I'll go over them. There will be quizzes. We're going to have the quiz will be five multiple choices. I think there are 9 of them. They're again, like I said, they're really easy. All you have to do is do the reading. It'll take you 2 seconds to do them. If you don't do the reading, it will take a little bit longer. But the idea is to encourage your reading of the material. There'll be 3 tests during the term. They're kind of, the first one is the first few weeks. The second one is between the first and the second, and the last one will be a bit more cumulative. However, I don't think, I'll probably schedule them for 90 minutes. It won't take you 60, it won't take you 40 to do them, but I'll give you time. I'll always put a test review ahead of time so you'll see what's out there important. There's a lot in these chapters, let's face it. So I'll make sure that you know what I'm looking for. One thing I'll say is that sometimes in a text, in any academic text, these guys are real smart guys, and they come up with new ways to phrase things and new ways to say things and new constructs and phraseology, creating new models. I try not to follow those in the testing because I think that's their opinion. They're trying to do something new and different. I respect that, but we'll keep it straightforward. We'll keep more traditional. I'm not going to test you on a certain way a certain academic writer talks about something that we all know what it is. I want to stay clear and straight and straightforward. So you'll see that in the PowerPoints, in the lectures, and in the test that it's very straightforward. I'm not going to go say the professor so and so said that open market is a market in awareness, something like that. I'm not going to test that. It'll be straightforward and clear. I want it to be fair. I want you all to learn. So we'll have some topical discussions. There'll be 4 of those online where you have to throw in some comments. I'll give you more information on that as we go along. Then the mini case studies, like I said, there are like 9 of those. I find them to be enjoyable. They're real life situations that you come across, that I've come across in my career, the things that actually do happen, that are actually relevant. So I think that it won't seem like a distraction or unnecessary for you to do those. I also have a thing called professional decorum. It's only worth 10 points, but I think that since you're in a business school, I want you to start thinking about certain decorum aspects, and these are simple. You're expected to complete all the assignments, all the graded activities, and follow the learning activities. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Participate in the discussions. Show utmost respect for the thoughts, the feelings, and the opinions and consideration of others. That's vital to business. It's important. You should submit your assignments on time every time, and I'd like to see everybody try to be better. Try to get better. Try to do better every day. Let's improve. Let's enhance what we're doing so you can be better professionals as you go forward. Okay, you see the grading activities on the syllabus. Basically, go over them again. There are 9 quizzes, 9 case studies, 3 tests, 4 online discussions, the 1 topic of professional decorum. You're looking for, in all those, there are 255 points. In other words, not any one point isn't going to affect you that much, but it's a cumulative thing. If you don't ever do the reading and you end up getting 3s out of 5s on all the quizzes, it'll end up somehow affecting you. On the other hand, they're free points. If you do the reading, it's like they're gifts, and most of it's like that. Like I said, I want you all to learn, and I want you all to do the best you can. So the grading is I'm sure you heard this before. It's much more up to you than to me. Let's just do the work, and you'll be fine. And you see the schedule there as well. I try to lay that out really clearly. You'll see it in the modules and on the Canvas, so you'll see everything really clear. If anything doesn't make sense to you, let me know. If anything, like if I made a mistake on a date or something, let me know. I'll fix it. It can happen. But anything you don't quite get, let me know. Also, sometimes in an online course, they take online courses because they're going to be traveling, they have conflicts, etc. Just let me know ahead of time. If you're not going to be here for X week, let me know. I can adjust the content, the testing, or whatever it happens to be, to make sure you get that wherever you are. You can sign in and do what you have to do. Just keep me informed, and we'll do that. Okay, I think that's it. Sorry, it's a bit long, but it would be longer if we were in class. Anyway, I appreciate you joining this class. I really want it to be effective for you. We'll do everything we can to overcome the obstacles and challenges of being an online course to make sure that it's relevant to you and that you experience what we want you to experience in terms of really getting a grasp on multinational corporate strategy. Okay, I really appreciate that, and thank you very much. Talk to you soon.